Okay, so now this brings me to one of my favorite sections, and it is the last section. I want to remind you that the only limit to your improving your persuasion and influence skills is yourself, your own limiting beliefs about yourself. And I want you just to demonstrate that, is to look at this image right now. I'm going to put up an image, and I want you to really look at it well. And I want to see how many of you can see the old lady in the diagram. How many of you see the young lady in the diagram? Some of you will be focusing on the young lady. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. And you will have an aha moment in just a few seconds. As you continue to look at this diagram, I want you to reflect on which perspective you're looking at things from. All right, this is a small exercise that helps you to see that very often we approach a situation just from one particular perspective, and there are so many other ways to see that situation. And the reason I show this little diagram is to show you how limited your own thinking may be about yourself and what you're capable of. When we're making a presentation, we are often overcome by emotions like fear and anxiety, thoughts that are coming into our mind, an endless chatter of negative, limiting beliefs like, oh, the audience is going to hate me. They're not going to do what I want them to. No one's going to be listening. I'm not good enough. You really need to look at those thoughts, analyze those thoughts, those limiting thoughts about yourself, and they especially come up just before the presentation or just after the presentation. Even during the presentation, they may be this endless chatter, this endless commentary. And you really need to start paying attention to that commentary and mastering these thoughts that are sabotaging. The way to do this is all about know thyself. This is what Socrates, the famous Greek philosopher, really worked his whole life to and dedicated to, is to help people to know themselves and overcome their limited fears and limited beliefs about themselves. So we're going to be doing some exercises regarding that. Socrates was also famous for saying that I cannot teach people anything, I can only teach them how to think. So Greek philosophers did not have a dogma or a religion or something that was preached. They were not preachers. What they did was, especially Socrates and Aristotle, they helped people to learn about their own thinking process and to question their thinking process. And this is really going to be the key to your ethos and to your self-confidence in public speaking. What we need to do, according to Socrates, is to rationalize about our fears, rationalize about our anxieties, start discussing with them, realize that there's a whole chain of events before we have outbreaks of perspiration and anxiety and headaches and all these psychosomatic symptoms that occur before you're about to give a presentation or you're about to address a meeting of colleagues or clients. There's a whole chain of events, okay? It's a domino effect. The first is triggered by our thought. First you have a thought, a limiting thought that, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, they're not going to listen to me. So I need you to source that initial thought. It's called a core belief. From there, this leads to an emotion. So the thought triggers an emotion. The emotion will trigger then things on the physical plane. It will trigger physical body reactions. It will trigger actions that you take. So we go from thought to emotions to actions, which result in the events, the reality that actually happens. So this is the cycle, and it's really up to you to start the chain reaction in a positive way, starting with a positive thought that will trigger positive emotions, that will trigger positive actions and results. This is the cycle that you need to intervene in from the very beginning, from your own thoughts. And the way to do that most is to question your thoughts. For example, when you have a fear, you need to question that fear. In fact, we have a lot of researchers like Daniel Goleman, the professor from Harvard University, you may know him, who's written the book EQ, Emotional Quotient. He's also written the bestseller Vital Lies, Simple Truths, The Psychology of Self-Deception. How often do you deceive yourself with lies that you tell yourself? Especially when you're about to present in front of an audience or when you're approaching people, I need you to start to become more and more aware of the lies you're telling yourself before you even start. And many of these self-deceiving lies, I do think we should call them lies. Goleman calls them lies, Socrates called them lies. I don't see why we shouldn't refer to them as lies. Self-deception and lies are really the cruelest thing you can do. I mean, think about it. You don't accept other people speaking badly to you. You don't accept other people insulting you, but you insult yourself all the time. We insult ourselves all the time. And we do that at work, we do it in our personal life. So I want you to start really being aware of the lies you tell yourself. And there are some exercises that I have for you. The first is to ask what I call the golden question of Socrates. Is it true? Is it true? And how do I know for sure? Is it true? And how do I know for sure? This will lead you on the right path. So, all together now, it comes together in this diagram, you'll see it. We have ethos at the top, your integrity. Then we have pathos, the passions you're evoking in your audience, appealing to their fears, appealing to their dreams, and logos, the appeal to logic, reasoning, facts, figures, scientific statistics. All of this comes together, and in the middle of the diagram is self-leadership. Self-leadership is, as we just said in the last part, about leading yourself over your lies, your self-deception. All of that is self-leadership. So all together, this system works beautifully to help you become a better influencer in your work and in your private life as well. So I hope you've enjoyed doing this course, and please note that I am here for you if you want to email me any questions. And we always have on Tuesdays in our Facebook group, I'm there for you. I have office hours where you can come in and just ask me a question or share one of your videos with me and the whole group, and you'll be able to get feedback in our community. So I want to thank you for participating in this course, and hopefully doing a training with you and your team. I will be happy to travel to come, or you can come to Greece to one of my retreats. So our relationship doesn't end here with this online course. I want you to know that I'm here for you to train your team, or even one-to-one coaching. I'm available on Skype or in person. You're welcome to check out my coaching programs. Once again, good luck, and practice makes perfect.